As you guys know, we just got our first glimpse at gameplay for NBA 2K26 and all of the gameplay changes. The game is just jam-packed with a ton of new features, addressing a lot of community concerns. In this video, we're going to discuss all of the new details. So if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest information about NBA 2K26, definitely consider subscribing and dropping a like on the video. You guys leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and let's get to the video.
It's AllCity. Load up that clip.
All right, yeah, so we're going to go over all of the new features coming to NBA 2K26 in regards to gameplay. They dropped a 2K26 trailer, the first gameplay trailer for NBA 2K26 ever released. It has some copyright music, so I'm unable to play it here in this video, but you guys be sure to check it out and let me know what you think. This is the first COURTSIDE report detailing everything, all the new features that NBA 2K26 is going to bring with it. It says smoother, cleaner, and more responsive gameplay powered by Pro Play. And normally that sounds like fluff, but when you guys learn about these changes, oh Lord, a lot of you guys might feel differently. Pro Play, as you know it, is evolving on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, Nintendo Switch 2. Pro Play uses actual NBA footage to capture motion. It's how you guys are able to animate your players. NBA 2K is introducing something called the Pro Play Motion Engine. Pro Play powers all new dynamic motion in NBA 2K26 generated from real-world NBA footage that influences all on-court movement. No longer are we vacillating between scripted animations, and I'm glad that 2K has finally owned that these animations that we once referred to as canned animations were all scripted, but they're saying that was due to motion capture in the old way they used to capture motion to animate players. It says offense, defense, and off-ball movement is now powered by Pro Play. This new motion engine is the biggest change to player movement since NBA 2K21 and further advances the one-to-one realism in gameplay, which took a giant leap forward with the dribble engine introduced in NBA 2K25. They should have left that part out because that dribble engine that they introduced for NBA 2K25 to me looked like it took steps backwards instead of advancing. Hopefully the new Pro Play engine does better for the 2K community than what the new dribble engine did. But maybe the marriage between the two now, Pro Play advancements along with the new dribble engine, maybe that'll work out to something different for NBA 2K26. New machine learning technology in NBA 2K26 on Gen 9 offers more precise, lifelike movement, which is noticeable in the most fundamental elements of the game. Dynamic lower body pose matching adjusts the exact positioning of players' legs and feet on the fly to remove that skating, that sliding or gliding that a lot of 2K players experienced in previous 2K games, seen in past games, and ensure that players launch, plant, and cut more realistically. And that was a huge issue in NBA 2K25. You see a whole lane there, but you cannot move your player into the lane without taking this winding route. Together, these systems work in harmony to not only make motion look better than ever before, but also leads to improvements across all areas of gameplay to create a fresh and authentic feeling when playing. And it says so now you guys will be able to compete at the highest level. I'd have to see it to believe. I saw some of the motion and it looked very similar from what they showed in the Twitch live stream. To me, it looked more like NBA 2K25, so we'll see how it looks on the court. Enhanced rhythm shooting. We're going to try to fly by this. I'll do standalone videos on each one of these topics, but just to get the information out to you guys in a timely fashion, I want to get through this COURTSIDE report. Enhanced rhythm shooting. Watching so many of you discover and embrace the rhythm shooting mechanic to improve your shooting ability has been thrilling and rewarding. Seeing heightened competition has inspired us to push the envelope of rhythm shooting and bolster its strengths. It goes on to say, in NBA 2K26, rhythm shooting extends beyond mimicking each player's signature shooting animation to giving you full control over every aspect of your shot. This shooting control method still relies on a down-up flicking motion with the shot stick, but now your shot timing and tempo will actually manipulate the shooter's upper body and impact how the shot looks throughout the complete motion by reflecting how you move the shot stick. And from what I understand now, Rhythm shooting was all just one motion dependent on what type of jump shot that you used. Well, now there's differences between when you start. If you flick down quickly, you might go into your shot quick, but you can slow that down on the tempo of your shot. Rhythm shooting is now set up in two parts. It says from the start, you'll see and feel the difference between early, late, slow, and fast releases. If you flick up early and rush your shot, you can do quick releases. If you flick up late and slowly, you'll see the effect with a delayed pushing motion and pretty much a lazier release. This enhanced feature grants more freedom than ever before to decide what type of jump shot you want to take. It says counter a closeout from a defender by initiating a quick release and intentionally rushing your shot, and still knock it down by executing excellent rhythm shooting tempo. Hopefully that clears up the new feature within rhythm shooting. Overall, players who take advantage of rhythm shooting mechanic will experience more responsive and authentic jump shots that stimulate a true shooting motion. Moving on into offense, develop a robust post game with all new signature go-to post shots and become a lethal slasher with custom layups. It says gameplay in NBA 2K26 has been improved to be more well-rounded and suitable for all archetypes. I'm surprised they even mentioned that word, archetypes. I'll move this down a little so y'all can see it. Green or miss shot timing will be universal in NBA 2K26 so that each mode has an even playing field. This means on higher difficulties, including most competitive multiplayer modes, only excellent timing green shots will go in. However, shot timing windows scale by difficulty and will be less forgiving in competitive modes like Proving Grounds and Pro-Am, but more forgiving in team control modes like My Team, where you have to adapt to the different shot animations. In addition, layup timing is permanently enabled to separate skilled finishers and make those highly contested finishes at the rim even more spectacular and impressive. Ultimately, we wanted to emphasize skill-based competitive gameplay where your actions on the sticks provide more control of the outcomes you see in game. This renewed focus will be felt across multiple gameplay areas, from shot outcomes to successful blocks and steals, loose balls, and rebounds. I would like to also add that they made an announcement that NBA 2K26 gameplay speed is going to be increased in comparison to NBA 2K25's gameplay speed. So I was really pleased to hear that. In this portion, they're talking about the signature go-to post shots. It says, it's been encouraging to see players incorporate signature go-to shots into their game and leverage real-world crossovers to create separation, like Steph Curry and Tyrese Halliburton's signature dribble step-back jumpers. And I'm curious to hear from you guys, how many of you utilized the go-to shot mechanic in NBA 2K25? Sound off in the comments section, because I don't even know if I took one go-to shot. In my opinion, they'd have to do a lot better with the animations, maybe speed them up in order for them to be effective. But if you used it, sound off, let me know. NBA 2K is now proposing to add go-to shots to post scorers. As you guys see in the video, you see Jokic just going crazy with this automatic go-to shot holding up, similar to how you do go-to shots for just point guards or shooters out there. You can do this now in the post. It says, while we've shown a lot of love to elusive play styles of the NBA's greatest backcourt players, this year's system is growing to better support the dominant big men we see in the modern NBA. Utilize all new signature go-to post shots by holding the right stick up while in the post. Lean into a host of new moves, including shimmy floaters, baby hooks, and up and unders. Now let's talk about custom layups. And this is one of the dopest new features for NBA 2K26. What they're proposing is an idea of choosing particular layup animations from different players. You know how in previous versions of 2K you had to choose a package and some animations within that package may be more effective than others? Well, now you're gonna have a menu of different layup categories. You have normal and reverse layups, floaters, quick scoops, euro steps, hop steps, and spins. Wreak havoc on the competition by utilizing Steph's graceful layups, James Harden's shifty euro steps, SGA's elusive hop steps, and Jokic's nimble spin moves to create a dominant custom package. Explore the bevy of post moves and layup options when customizing your My Player and editing players in the rosters. And this is what it looks like. The menu you're going to be choosing from: normal layups, reverse layups, floaters, quick scoops, so on and so forth. There's improvements to defense as well. It says play freely with physicality in NBA 2K26 using body ups and collisions to antagonize opponents. And at first glance, I was thinking more body up animations, more bumping means that they're going to be taking us out of more dunks and putting us into layups. But it does talk about the improved collisions, body ups and collisions. NBA 2K26 uses system-driven technology to generate player-to-player collisions that are more reliable compared to previously scripted motion captured animations. You know, one of my biggest arguments playing NBA 2K games is that these animations are all scripted. They're canned. Both players are losing control, and 2K is taking over with a scripted canned animation. I'm finally glad to see that 2K has owned up to this, but that's only after they introduced this new feature on collisions. It says, coupled with new dynamic motion, this change improves the freedom of movement for both the dribbler and the on-ball defender. And I have to see it to believe it, to see if they got it right. Maybe they're just marketing geniuses and they're trying to sell us on this new mechanic, but we'll wait to see. Interior defense has been redesigned so that it's easier to get strong body bumps in the air when contesting finishers at the rim. Bigs will feel increased physicality when roaming in the paint. There's also a new rebounding timing mechanic. And from watching the Twitch live stream, Evan said that the best way to time your rebounds is on the last bounce on the rim, hitting triangle on the last bounce on the rim. Well, 2K26 is going to introduce a new rebounding timing mechanic. It says in NBA 2K26, a green meter will flash beneath your player's feet to indicate a well-timed rebound attempt. The ideal time to jump for a rebound is just before the ball makes its final bounce off the rim, and higher rebounding attribute ratings will make it easier to nail your timing for rebounding. Excellent timing can significantly boost your chances of securing the board. I bet you guys are going to be going with them 99 rebounds again, like we saw in NBA 2K25, but the green flash is what he's talking about right under the player's feet who has the ball here. As you can see, it's going to flash green like that. They showed it in the Twitch live stream. Next, we're talking about control. It says dictate every facet of the game with new and revamped controls for a more intuitive, deliberate, and free-flowing experience. And it says here, with this, overall game speed in NBA 2K26 is now sped up to reward players with faster decision making, who can read the court, anticipate their opponent, and react quicker. That joy just kind of made my hair stand up. Is this gonna be the one? Will NBA 2K26 be able to make up for the gameplay regressions players have experienced from NBA 2K21 to 2K25? There's a new feature called Quick Protect, and a lot of you guys are gonna love this. Ball handlers can now tap the left trigger to initiate Quick Protect movements to shield the ball and evade steals. If you see a defender reaching for a steal and react quickly enough with the Quick Protect mechanic, you can counter it. This balances the steal system by introducing more skill-based outcomes, similar to what Luka does when he's handling the rock, which they're showing right here. This is the animation here to quickly protect the rock, and you tap the left trigger to make that happen. You could also put defenders in a compromising position by using Quick Protect while driving to the rim. Decelerate and pin your opponent against your hip to trap them in defender jail. Some of the craftiest ball handlers, Jalen Brunson, Doncic, and Young, all excel at this, making them incredibly challenging to guard. The feature sounds super dope, and it does give ball handlers a lot more control to handle the rock, but could it lead to exploits? You know, the 2K community loves their exploits. So we're gonna move on though. We're not gonna stay too long on any particular topic because I just want to get this information out to you so I can start making standalone videos on each particular topic. No dip catch and shoot animations. For catch and shooters, you corner sitters out there or you hash players out there, oftentimes you're unsure of what type of animation you're gonna receive on a catch and shoot. Well, now 2K is giving you an option to eliminate any changes in that catch and shoot shot. It says hold the left trigger when receiving a pass while standing still to square up. Catch the ball high and seamlessly transition directly into your shooting motion in rhythm to get the shot up quickly. Knock down shots like Klay Thompson and Ray Allen as defenders race to close out before you release. I love that shooters are going to even be having that option. It was just brutal and they're showing the animation here how you're going to go into this quick shot animation, and you no longer need to guess whether 2K is going to give you a dipping animation, slowing down the whole timing on your jump shot. So that's going to be a dope new mechanic in NBA 2K26. It says revamped signature size ups. Signature size up controls have been improved for more intuitive experience. Now you can rock the pro stick back and forth, left and right, or repeatedly flick the pro stick up to execute 2 different size up combinations. These size ups will help you create separation from your defender while retaining the realistic look provided by Pro Play. And like they said, you could either rock your analog stick left and right to get one particular type of size up animation, or you could just continue to flick up on that stick to get a different alternative size up animation. They're now also introducing slow motion Euro steps, which, it adds more finesse and control to your finishing, which I like this. It says after initiating a Euro step, you can hold the left trigger at any point to deliberately decelerate mid-move to throw defenders off and create space with a slow motion drag step finish. Slither through the lane and control the pace to send defenders careening past you. Dope. A new feature called wrap passes. Now, there was so many complaints about the pass trajections in NBA 2K25. This is how they're addressing them, giving you an option to choose a wrap pass. It says wrap passes now have a dedicated control by double tapping circle, or if you're on Xbox, double tap B. This expands the toolkit for playmakers to determine when you want to do a wrap pass and ensures you aren't throwing the ball straight into the back of a defender. And I'm glad that they addressed that. Alley-oops also get a huge change. Catching an alley-oop now requires more skill. Once the pass is thrown, the finish button for the receiver will be randomized on higher difficulties to one of 4 face buttons on your controller instead of always being square or X. So you guys are now going to have to choose mid-animation the correct button to press when players are throwing you an alley-oop. It's a good addition, something for a skill gap. I know a lot of you guys may not necessarily like this. It's going to only be for higher difficulties. So maybe if you're a casual, you're playing on lower difficulty modes, you can just press square the same way you've done in the past. But in higher difficulties, you're going to have to choose. I imagine they're going to put the icon on screen. You're going to have to choose correctly. Setting screens. Screeners can now control which way you want to face. It was one of the worst parts about setting screens as a big man in NBA 2K25 and in previous versions as well. Oftentimes you're attempting to set a screen, but your players face the completely wrong direction. Now you have control over which direction he's facing. It says screeners can now control which way you want to face. Tapping the left stick slightly left or right from the direction you are currently screening will turn your players 45 degrees. And tapping the left stick in the opposite direction will turn your player a whole 180 degrees. This will help high IQ bigs who can help get your ball handlers open to stand out. They also talk briefly about the My Player freelance engine, where the AI is now going to recognize if you're wide open, and they have better spacing as well. So it's accompanied with that drive and kick mechanic. Improved double team defensive logic in NBA 2K26 has improved to better track moving targets. It talks about the AI navigating screens, expanded playbooks. Outside of the new features for AI, which I personally don't necessarily care about, I'll leave a link to this COURTSIDE report in the description below in case you guys want to check it out for yourselves. But they cap off the COURTSIDE report saying gameplay in 2K26 is intended to feel smoother, faster, and more seamless than ever before. And the next COURTSIDE report will dive into this year's presentation enhancements and how they complement the gameplay for all-encompassing authentic immersion. That all-encompassing, I find ironic that Uncle Demi just mentioned all-encompassing in his last video talking about Hoop Vision, but they didn't mention anything about Hoop Vision in the Twitch live stream or in this COURTSIDE report. I'm going to be making standalone videos on each one of these topics, diving a bit deeper into each one of the new features for NBA 2K26. If you guys want to stay up to date with the latest information about the new installment of 2K, definitely consider dropping a like and a sub. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join the AllCity 2K Discord. The link will be in the description below. Find players and get runs now. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.